Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to learn one of the most popular architectural patterns used in modern .NET application, that is CQRS, which stands for Command Query Responsibility Segregation. We will build our understanding using a real C# project that uses ASP.NET Core Minimal APIs, Mediator library, and Entity Framework Core. By the end of this video, you will understand why CQRS exists, how Mediator fits into the architecture, and how the request travels from API endpoint all the way to database. Okay, so what is the problem CQRS solves? In traditional application, the same service often handle the creating, updating, and deleting and reading data. As the application grows, these services become large, tightly coupled, and difficult to maintain. CQRS solves this by separating write operations from the read operations. Commands change the data, queries only read the data. This separation makes the application easier to maintain, easier to test, and much more scalable. Okay, let's have the project overview. Our sample project is intentionally simple. Everything is inside program.cs, so we can focus on the CQRS pattern rather than project structure. The application uses ASP.NET Core Minimal API, Mediator, Entity Framework in memory, and Swagger for testing. In the memory database, we don't even need SQL Server. Okay, let's try to understand the entities. The product model is simple and immutable record containing ID and name. This is one. Entity Framework store this record in the memory database. Okay, understanding the command. Let's begin with the write code. The create product command represent an intention to create a new product. This is the create product command, and this is intention to create a new product. Notice that it doesn't perform the work itself, it simply carries the data. When the API receives a post request, this is the post request endpoint, this is the minimal endpoint. It doesn't save anything directly. Instead, it calls mediator.send. Here the mediator we have invoked, and the mediator here how it is we have initialized. Okay, mediator finds the matching create product handler automatically. Yeah, so this is the product handler here. Okay, inside the handler the product is added to the database and save the changes. Async is called. This handler is a part of the iRequest interface, and here the save changes async is called. This means the API endpoint never knows anything about the entity framework. Okay, we will also debug the application once we understand the code. Okay, so understanding the queries. Now let's examine the read side. The get products query doesn't contain business logic either. It simply asks for all the project. Mediator forwards this query to the get product handler. This is the get product handler. It is implemented by the request handler. The handler reads the data from the entity framework and returns the product list. Notice that the query handler never modifies the data. Their only responsibility is reading the information. Yeah, so this is returning the data. Okay, let's try to application. I have started the application and let's try to debug it. Here Swagger it is open and let's try to create a product. I'm specifying some ID here and product it is a pencil. Let's try to execute it. Okay, so the application hits the endpoint. Okay, so it is creating the product. So it is carry forwarding the create product command, and then it will navigate to the mediator send. Okay, so you can see this handler, it is implemented by the create product handler. So it will match to the this one, our signature. Okay, so it will fall into this handle action. Okay, it is coming here. Okay, so this will save the data into the database. Here as of now database it is in memory database. Okay, let's try to retrieve the data. Try it out. Execute. Okay, so here it is pointing to the mediator.send. Okay, so here it is get query instance is created here, and then it ultimately it will match to this one I request handler with the get request query. Okay, so it doesn't matter what is the returning it is here. So only this is the first generic parameter is important here. Okay, okay, it is returning the result. Okay, we can see the result is there. Okay, this is how we can integrate the mediator to achieve the CQRS pattern. Okay, let's try to understand complete request flow here. Okay, let's follow the post request. The client sent the HTTP request. This is the post endpoint, and the client sent the HTTP request. The minimal API receives it, and the endpoint forwards the request to the mediator. Okay, so it creates the command, create command, and then it's forward to the mediator. This is the mediator service bus. Okay, and the mediator finds the correct handler. Okay, so it's then it's route to the handler perform the business logic thing. This is the create product handler. Okay, and so product handler then do the business logic. Entity framework saves the data. The final response is traveled back to the client. The same process happens for the queries, except the handler only reads the data instead of modifying it. Yeah, so this is the get endpoint, and for example, if user try to hit the get endpoint, then it goes to it create the get product queries, and then it's sent to that mediator service bus, and then mediator service bus route to that handler. Here it is the handler, get product handler, and then it's navigate to the DB context, and then DB context furthermore perform the query operation, and it returns the list of products to the requested endpoint. So, so this is how the request goes. Okay, so why use mediator? So without mediator, controller often become tightly coupled to repositories, services, and database. With the mediator, controller simply send the request. They don't know who processed the request. This reduces the coupling, improve the testing, and keep the business logic is in dedicated handler classes. Although our application is small, it demonstrates the complete CQRS workflow. The key takeaways is simple. Command change the data, queries read the data, and mediator connect the request to the appropriate handler. Controller remains clean, business logic stay isolated, the application become easier to scale and maintain. If you enjoyed this walkthrough, don't forget to like the video, subscribe the channel, and let me know which design pattern you would like to see next. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.